please subscribe and don't forget to press the bell icon to get notified whenever we upload a new video.
Important interview, actually. Fundamental valuations, Uday Kotak says, are still a little further away. He predicts a further correction in the market. In an exclusive chat with Shireen Bhan, he says that a single-digit correction in mid-caps from current levels will make the markets healthy.
Has the mood soured somewhat? I mean, of course, on account of global factors, local factors, the change as far as macros are concerned, but more so because of the trigger that we've just seen.
No, Shireen, you go back to January, early January, I did speak out about the fact that I was worried about
the possibility of a bubble in the mid-cap side, yes.
In a few stocks, particularly small and mid-cap. So I am glad that the markets have corrected since then, because otherwise you were just seeing first-time savers' monies going into the equity markets in some of the stocks, which could be very easily manipulated as well. So I'm happy from the point of view of longer-term system that the correction has happened. Let me move to fundamental valuations and then to economic growth. I think fundamental valuations are in the process of correction, and we will reach equilibrium at some point of time on a fundamental basis. We are probably still a little away.
When you say little, can you quantify that for us? I mean, how much do you expect?
Markets always surprise you.
What would be a healthy correction?
I think we have seen a close to 8 to 10% correction in the big caps, and probably a 20 to 30% correction in the small and mid caps. So somewhere in the single digit corrections from here is what I would, in the big caps, is what I would see as getting the markets to a fundamentally more healthy level. Now, whether there's 5%, 10%, I think that's something which would give fundamental corrections. But keep in mind, beyond fundamentals, technicals can move markets on either side quite a bit. And fundamentals are not static as well. It also depends on a lot of changing factors. So you've got to keep on moving your fundamental value with the changes. The good news as I see it today, okay, is over the last 3 or 4 years, whenever we would talk about chasing growth, we had a wonderful macroeconomic tailwind in our favor. You know, oil, we've seen it at $30, $40, $50. And our current account under control, fiscal deficit improving year after year. So we had a wonderful macro for the first 3 to 4 years post 2014. But micro was lagging the macro. This time around, as I speak to you, I think micro has picked up. We are seeing growth on the ground, but the macro tailwinds are not as favorable as they were over the last 3 years. But I don't think macro has got very adverse, so I think there's still enough room for growth, and micro is chugging much better. So from a good macro to a challenging micro, we've moved to a good micro and a more challenging macro.
Let me ask you about your own growth opportunities and what you're going to be focusing on. And, you know, the market has been abuzz with what's on your radar and which candidates are potential acquisition targets for you. I'm not going to ask you to name specifics, but can we expect 2018 to be a year where you play consolidator?
Shireen, every year you ask this question in January and get me into trouble. So I will stick to the line, and which has turned out to be right for 2017, and which is that we're always open for opportunity, and it's across the financial services industry.
Including NBFC.
We are, financial services industry is the broad financial services industry. Having said that, we are very focused on creating value for our stakeholders, and we will not rush into do stupid deals.
But do you get a sense on the basis of what is on your deck today that whether it's valuations, whether it's strategic fit, that there are potential targets there that look attractive to you?
No. I mean, I think the Indian financial sector is a long-term phenomenal opportunity. And therefore, the overall financial sector is something we like. I've spent my life in it, and we continue to be deeply committed to the sector.